Merci, saluons-les au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Je vous en prie. Nous terminons par M. Farzam Kamalabadi, président du futur 30 groupe, de se tenir debout pour que nous puissions le saluer. Musique. Saluons chaleureusement notre frère, au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Merci, je vous en prie. À présent, nous invitons le révérend Landon Ndombas, directeur de cabinet du chef spirituel et représentant légal de l'église kimbanguiste, de passer devant pour les mots de circonstance. Nous allons maintenant suivre tour à tour les mots, bien les messages des membres de la délégation de nos hôtes, mais toutefois nous allons commencer par le docteur Loanga Konga Jospin, lui qui est président fondateur du Centre d'art Kimbangu et ambassadeur itinérant ensemble. Oui, il est président fondateur du Centre d'art Kimbangu et ambassadeur itinérant. Docteur, vous avez la parole. Sous vos applaudissements, s'il vous plaît.
Munukumbwase ye mwana ye tata mwanda velela siedieto nzambi ankenda tata Simoni Kimbangu Kiangani Fuma Longo Fuma Dibondu grand Dieu grand boussole.
In the name of Father, Son and the Holy Spirit, my friends and our Godfather Simoni Kimbangu Kiangani, me your friend.
Napesi bino mbote biso baso bapaya na biso oyo bouti na mokili mobimba.
I greet you everyone who is coming in all over the world, our strangers.
Na kombo ya tata mokonzi ya bule pe batata conseiller direct nde na telemi po ete kopesa bino message ya boyambi bino pe ya fraternité.
On the name of our Father and all the delegation, I am standing here to give you our message.
Merci na ba sympathisants, na ba fidèles kimbanguistes, ba konzi ya mboka ya les trois Congo pe mokili mobimba oyo bazali na biso elongo ope bazolanda biso na musika.
Thank you to all congregation, Kimbangist congregation, and all Christian of Kimbangist Church, them that are following us in all of the world.
Ndenge elobami azar na mokili ezalaka te ndenge tata nzambe asala mokili na ye.
As it's been told, there is no random in the program of God as he made his world.
Na 1921 le 6 avril tata nzambe amonaki ete po abikisa mokili na ye esengaki ye moko akita na bamvola misato oyo tobengi banzambe kati na bato papa Kisolokele Lukelo, papa Dialungana Kiangani, papa Diangienda Nkuntima.
In 1921, God programmed that he must come down in the world with his three sons, Father Kisolokele Lukelo, and Father Dialungana Kiangani, and the next father Diangienda Nkuntima. Those are his sons.
Na bolingo na bango ndenge basalaki mokili bamonaki ete mokili koti na pito pale mokili za kobunga esengaki ete ba restaurer mokili na bango na unité.
Like he programmed to restore all of the world, they programmed that they must come in the world and they changed the position because the world was being lost. So that they came here to restore the world.
Nde awa na nkamba na ntimasi oizali cœur du monde kasi mutu salama avant l'immigration nde likambo wana ebandaki.
Just here in Kamba, the New Jerusalem, where the first person was made, it is the heart of the world where all those programs being accomplished.
Epesa melaki biso mokumba le 6 avril biso ba africain biso bato ya mokili biso ba kimbangiste tokende na mokili mobimba pona kopanza sango ya tata Simon Kimbangu azali nzambe.
The mission was given to us to go in all over the world to preach them that Father Simon Kimbangu is God, the Holy Spirit.
Sans différence ya peau.
Without the difference of skin.
Pambate soko sangisi ba couleur nyonso ekosala couleur ya moindo.
Because when you mix all over the color, it must be the black people.
Koyoka message wana na thèse monene oyo papa na biso asalaki, papa docteur, papa Bituvidi Kiangani, papa Zako na pe oyo emonani na mokili na thèse na ye le 12 octobre bapaya bana na bango o balongaki na mokili mobimba nde bayaki nde bapandisa ngwana pe na mokili mobimba.
In the thèse of our father Papa Zako, the direct conseil, told him when we defended his thèse, he told him the world over the world must follow Father Simon Kimbangu and understand his God, that it is our opportunity to go in the world and preach them so that they might know that Father Simon Kimbangu is the Holy Spirit.
Depuis toza kosala musala étant que ba scientifique to tamboli na tous les continents. Tokei na mikili mobimba na l'Union africaine précisément kaka na neo tozalaki na ba docteur Tony Jaja na ba mama Ritepe batebele mususu bazawa te. Bandimaki pe basosolaki ke likambo molimo likambo bonzambe eza na maboko ya papa Simon Kimbangu Kiangani nzambe ya 4e génération.
From where we follow that thèse, we have the mission to go everywhere in the world to preach them. And we meet every congregation, association to preach them that everything in this world is in the hand of Father Papa Simon Kimbangu. They believed us, they congratulated us to those all preaching.
Yango kambe zali centre ya koyamba bato. yango tomoni bandeko na biso bana ndako na bango bana ndako baye bamona likambo wana bamona nzambe na bango apesa bango makasi pamba te na biso banso nde tokotonga kamba Yerusalemi diapa o evandi nzambe.
So that we had a mission to preach everyone to come here in New Jerusalem to see the work and commandment that they are giving to everyone, so that they might follow their God and know that all this the instruction he can give to us, we might be able to follow them and believe their God, Father Simon Kimbangu. He is a God of all over the world.
Ezali likambo oyo bango moko nde balobaki nzambe soka lobi likambo ekokisamaka. Ndenga lobaki mokile kovanda kimia nani alobaki Papa Simon Kimbangu kiangani nzambe ndenge ba confirmaki yango na OTAN. Ndenge ba confirmer yango na l'Union européenne. Ndenge ba confirmer yango na l'Union africaine bazali wana et ndenge ba confirmer yango na tous les entrepreneurs, les hommes puissants du monde.
Just the mission that we have accomplished was being told to every congregation. Now they believe that Father Simon Kimbangu is the Holy Spirit. We must follow him in all his actions and know that he is the circle of all over the world. We are ready to come here. That is the reason we have bring all people we accompany us to come here to greet him and to congratulate him.
Bandeko na biso oto yambi mingi bandeko na biso baindo na obazali na loposo ya pembe bango nyonso bazali ba chef d'entreprise bango nyonso bazali bato ya minene sima na bango bandeko ebele bazali o babanda koya seko ya ndenge lobamaka na 1921.
Behind the heads, we have bring a big delegation we accompany us. There are the chief of enterprise, various enterprises in the world. They are coming here to see us, to visit us, and after them, another delegation will follow them behind and accomplish all partnership that we will make following the commandment of our Father.
Na yango to yambi bino na esengo bakiti wana ebomba makipo na bino biso banso na bolingo mibeko pe misala o ezali symbole ya kimbangisme.
So that we receive you with the gladness and happy to receive you, because every people will follow all those orientation will be given to our stranger, and we will be happy to receive them.
Pona kusukisa boyoki matei boyoki banzembo na biso na kimbangisme ezali matei ya mibale na kusenga na jejeki soki akoki kobetela biso nzembo ya kanda ndombe nde papa oyo azali ako-interpréter pona biso banso.
Yeah, just following our speech, we ask a song to a music group to give us a new songs concerning the black people, as the promise was given by 1921 from Father Simon Kimbangu. Follow the song.
Yani wazo laba keka kemba Basinge Afrika wabakanda mujatu Yani wazo laba keka kemba Basinge Afrika wabakanda mujatu Ngaruze ijambwe Silwa konwa kemo matimu Ulendi kwikila Nulubuke Ngaruze ijambwe Konwa kemo mumatimu Mulemi kwikila Nulubuke Kama Yerusalemi yama Yerusalemi kiloko twabe watu Africa, oh, Sonda Mokisano. Okay. Alléluia, azongisi. Akosangisa biso esika moko, soki tolingi mpe koyokela bangwala. Akosangisa biso esika moko, soki tolingi mpe koyokela bangwala.
On the name of Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, the translation of this song in English is: Black people is a promised skin. Jerusalem, beauty city is given unto you. Do you know program you will miss the glory in incredulity? Be clever. Come, New Jerusalem, the holy town was given unto you, and to his. He forsook the former house and came unto you in the name of Jesus in black people. He came to black people in the name of Jesus. You black people know that very well. Your glory was hidden, is replied to you. He given you that. He will gather us, everyone, all over the world, in following God's instructions. Finished. That is the song they come just now to sing. Thank you.
Bandeko nangai, ba papa nangai, ba mama nangai, oyo avandi liboso na biso azali Nzambe. Pamba te na 1959 bapasoli ye libomo, babimisi michopo, bamona eloko te na kati. Susi na bango ezalaki comprendre phénomène na ye. Nde ye yo asali réincarnation. Nde ye yo bayoki ye na baroi na bato banso. Tobanga ye, totosa ye, tosalela ye. Na soki si bongo na komba tata mwana abe tata molimo santo. Amen.
My friend and sister, you must know that him that is called as here is God. In 1951, when he died, they made an autopsy. They opened inside him, but they found nothing inside that showed that sufficiently he is God. It is him that is sitting there. Him that is sitting there in our right. We must understand that and give glory to him. That is the end of my speech. Thank you very much.
À présent, nous invitons M. Sam Patrick, directeur exécutif de Build One Africa International Limited, de prendre la parole du haut de la tribune.
Your Holiness, Papa, fellow Kimbanguists, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards a brighter future as we celebrate the groundbreaking partnership between Build One Africa Group, together with our partners, Future Trends International Group, and the Kimbanguist Church.
Merci bandeko na biso nyonso bakimbangiste. Lelo eza mokolo munene oyo toye awa na groupe na biso oyo atangi kombo pona kosala partenariat na église kimbangiste.
This alliance is not just a fusion of corporate and spiritual realms. It is a beacon of hope and progress for the Holy Land, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Africa.
Ezali esengo mingi ndenge biso toye tozana elike ete toye kokomela na mabele centre oyo ezali na Afrika pe elike na biso ete toko progresser ensemble na bino na makambo tozana ngo.
In the heart of Africa, the DRC stands as a land of immense potential and natural beauty.
Awa na motema ya mokili mobimba na kati ya Afrika, RDC ezali mokili moko ya espoir oyo ezali ke tozoko espérer ko tosala makambo ya kitoko.
Yet for too long, it has been a canvas of untapped opportunity.
Banda kala oyo toya na Congo awa pona occasion oyo na makambo toye.
This is where our partnership comes into play, heralding a wind of change across the continent.
Makambo na biso toyeli ezali lokola fenêtre moko ya kitoko o toye ko fongo na Afrique pona partenariat donc boyokani entre l'église kimbangiste na biso.
The Holy Land, revered and cherished, has always been a source of spiritual strength and cultural richness.
Mabele oya esample ezali boule ezali force makasi ya molimo oyo tozoko espérer ke ezali démarrage na biso pona misala na biso.
Through our collaborative efforts, we aim to develop this sacred land not merely in material terms, but as a symbol of unity and peace.
Na lisanga ya bokasi na biso nyonso oyo tokosala bino na biso tozoko ndima ete tokosala likamoko ya munene ya makasi na mabelo ya esante oyo tozali elongo na bino.
Our vision is to create a space that not only respects and preserves its spiritual significance, but also promotes sustainable development and communal harmony.
Tokosangana lisanga moko pona développement ya molimo ya bonzoto kaka te pona ko changer mboka oyo ya RDC en particulier Nkamba mais na ya molimo lisusu pamba te tomoni socle développement ezali awa na mboka oyo.
Our commitment extends beyond the borders of the Holy Land. The Democratic Republic of Congo, with its vast natural resources and then vibrant communities,
tokozala na besoin ya bato ebele pona misala. Mokilo ya Congo ezali munene ezali vide pona développement ya agriculture pe makambo mususu oyo eko upesa kimia na biso bana mboka pe bakimbangisi.
So this country is poised for transformation. This country, DRC, is poised for transformation.
Mboka oyo Congo ezali mboka moko ya makasi pona transformation. Doko bongola makambo ya sika po emona na ebima.
We envisage a future where these resources are harnessed responsibly, leading to economic growth, social upliftment, and environmental sustainability.
Na oyo tozana na mboka oyo, biloko tozana na mboka oyo ezali favorable ya pesa développement pe ya kosala na misala na biso pona progrès emonana na misala na biso.
But our aspirations even reach further. Africa, a continent of diversity and resilience. But our aspirations reach even further. Our dreams reach even further, goes far.
Ndoto na biso ezali drôle, donc eza eloko moko neti emonana te do bazoko kama ngo ndoto vision na bango na mboka oyo ya Congo na misala na bango.
Africa, a continent of diversity and resilience, stands at the cusp of a new era.
Congo RDC ezali mboka moko oyo ezopesa espoir na ndenge yango ezali pour la transformation ya nouveau terrain, donc nouveau monde.
An era where development is not defined by exploitation of natural resources, but by the empowerment of its people.
Mabele oyo ezali ete bakoko défendre binote na développement na richesse toza nango pona bomengo ya batu nyonso.
Our partnership is a testament to this new vision of Africa, an Africa where progress is measured in economic terms and the well-being and prosperity of its communities.
Occasion oyo tokutani na biso nyonso ba africain ezali occasion monene pona développement ya batu nyonso tu ya Afrique na misala pe na makambo nyonso oyo ezali pona mengo na biso.
The wind of change is not just a metaphor. It is a call to action. The wind of change is not figurative.
Fenêtre oyo, donc opportunité oyo, ezali ya ko neti ya eloko moko ya mopaya te ou bien to mona ngo ezoko kokana mais ezali réalité pona ndoto na biso, vision na biso ekokana.
It is a call to embrace innovation.
Ezoko benga ete innovation, donc changement emonana par rapport à avoir donc oyo tozala ngo na mboka oyo.
Foster inclusivity. Togetherness.
Na bosangani na biso inclusivité soki tosangani nde likambo wana ekosalema.
Build a future where every African has opportunity to thrive.
Oyo ezali occasion pona biso ba africain biso nyonso to meka kosala poto kokisango.
BOA Group and the Kimbangwe Church are committed to catalyzing this change.
Bio Group, donc groupe Etali makambo Etali agriculture oya bango eza kosangana église kimbangiste pona développement oyo tobongisi.
In conclusion,
na conclusion, na mokuse,
remember that this partnership is more than a business venture or religious initiative.
Toyeba ke boyokani oyo ya biso lingomba na bakongole ezali boyokani moko ya malamu pe ezali productif oyo kopesa kimia.
It is a pledge to the people of the Holy Land.
Ezali esengo na batu nyonso ya mabele e santu.
The DRC,
RDC
and Africa.
Na Afrique mobimba.
A commitment to work hand in hand towards a future.
Kosangana na biso e ko permettre biso misala na biso oyo ezoko ya.
Where development,
na développement na biso,
dignity,
kosangana donc bokasi assiduité
and harmony.
Na harmonie donc koyoka na moko ya kitoko boyoka ni ya solo
are ideals and reality. Ideals and reality.
Eko oyo ezali ke ya kobombama ekokoma réalité donc ekomona na siko na miso batu nyonso tu.
Thank you very much for your time.
Merci mingi bino nyonso tu.
Merci. Le troisième message de ce jour spécial nous sera livré par M. Guiney Francis Koumé, directeur général de QUILD One Africa International, le MED-TED, à qui nous demandons de passer devant pour son mot de circonstance. Sous vos applaudissements, s'il vous plaît.
Good afternoon, everybody here. And special regards and greetings to the spiritual chief of Nkamba.
Spécialement na Papa Mukonzi, Papa Simon Kimonkangani.
I take special pleasure and delight to thank our Lord Jesus Christ for bringing us all here this afternoon.
Nakumsi koloisu nandenga memi biso awa epanabino.
In fact, today is my second time of being on this land, this holy land.
Lo izali mbalami bale na koma na mabele e santo.
And I want to say that I'm so much impressed with everything that I've seen here.
Naikana lobaka nazali très impressionné na mans na zomona awa.
The people are so wonderful.
Batu bazali kitoko.
The surrounding is so conducive, and everybody is so cheerful, and that is a good spirit for the Lord.
Bolagisi boyambi malamu batu nyonso bazana isengo wana biso pe to sentir na mitema na biso.
Yesterday when we arrived here,
lobi tanto komaki,
the reception was so wonderful.
And
you couldn't imagine the kind of euphoria that was around and the joy that we felt as a team. It was a clear indication that everybody is happy with everybody here, and the fact that there is a prophecy being fulfilled.
Donc elakisi pena bolingo o ezali na kati ya bato awa pe ezali ya solo prophecy o balobaki ekokisami.
In fact, just to confirm that is a prophecy being fulfilled, this morning it dropped in my spirit that we all have to look through the book of Deuteronomy from the first chapter to the last chapter.
Pona ko lobake ya solo penza prophecy ekokisami.
And it talks greatly about God restoring his people.
Deutéronome. About
God restoring his people to their glory. Receiving us yesterday, Papa said something that is profound. He said that the first generation has failed. The second generation has failed. The third generation did fail. But this fourth generation must succeed. And that is also to say that it's a prophecy being fulfilled. One thing I want to draw attention to is that in the book of Deuteronomy, all what it says is that on your way to a great future, do not ignore the past.
Na book ya Deutéronome ezoloba ke tant bozo kene liboso na futur bota la sima. Donc tant bozo kene liboso bota la pe na sima.
So what it means is that the history around Nkamba is very important.
Donc izolakisa ke histoire ya Nkamba ezali très important.
And the story of the lives that has lived here is also very important.
Na bia histoire ya bavi ya bato oyo bazalaki dans le passé ezali très important.
There are very great lessons that we all have to learn,
Ezali pena ba leçon ya makasi oyo il faut to
and let them inform us as we
Apprendre.
make decisions into the future.
epesa biso mpe mayele mpo na futur.
Now, what it means is that we must be obedient to the word of God,
Donc elakisi ke il faut tozala obéissant na maloba nzambe.
and we must never lack faith at any stage in the course of our development,
Donc il faut toujours tozala na bondimi
because God is with us.
mpo nzambe azali na biso.
Now, I want to leave us with a reminder that we have to, before we will succeed, we will have to listen. We will succeed and win in what we want to do. We have to listen to God.
alingi apesa kaka rappel ke mpo olonga il faut oyoka nzambe.
And we have to be courageous, show courage all along the way.
Il faut bozala mpe très courageux.
So with the team that we have come here, it's like a call of God from all over the world.
Na ekipe oyo toye na bango awa ezali mpenza
I,
oyo nzambe abengisaki biso na molimo.
I stand here, I came all the way from Ghana.
Ngai nauti Ghana.
My colleague Patrick also came from Ghana.
Moninga Patrick auti mpe Ghana.
Dr. Jaja is from South Sudan.
Dr. Jaja ye auti Sudan du Sud.
We have Dr. Fazam, who is from the United States of America.
Toza mpe na Dr. Fazan ye auti
He
Amerique.
has members of his team from Germany
Aza
and some
mpe na
from
ekipe na ye
China,
oyo bauti Allemagne, bamosusu bauti
another
Chine,
from Nigeria.
bamosusu bauti Zimbabwe,
So you
na
can see
Nigeria.
God bringing people all together to Nkamba.
Donc tosangisi bato ebele bauti bipai na bipai mpo baya na nkamba.
And like my colleague said, it's the belly of Africa and the world.
Donc ndenge moninga na alobaki awa nde ezali source ya Afrique na ya mokili.
So with a peaceful atmosphere around, with the determination of the people of Nkamba, the kind of outward love that you show,
Donc kimia oyo tomoni awa na bolingo oyo bolakisi biso
it sets a good foundation for God to regroup his people
elakisi ke fondation ya kitoko ezali awa mpo nzambe asangisa bato na ye
to bring Nkamba to where it belongs in the scheme of things in the Congo,
mpo ete elakisa monene ya nkamba na kati ya mboka ya Congo
and make Congo what it's supposed to be in the scheme of the world,
mpo ete elakisa monene ya Congo na mokili
and Africa to take its own place in the whole world.
mpo ete Afrique ezwa esika na ye na mokili.
So this afternoon, I will not want to bore you. I will only want to say that let us all be steadfast in the things that we are doing, particularly following our leaders in following God.
Donc nalingi kotungisa bino te me nazoloba kaka ke tolanda nzambe na biso.
For God has given us all that it takes for us to do what we need to do to be successful.
Mpo nzambe apesi biso oyo nyonso toza nango besoin mpo ete tokoka koreusir na vie.
We have to keep to the principles of living right in our communities.
Il faut to respecter ba principe ya mibeko mpo ete tozala bien na mokili.
We also have to maintain our relationship with God.
Il faut mpe ko maintenir relation na yo na nzambe.
The great thing is that we have a very great spiritual leadership in this place.
Eloko ezali bien ezali ki tozali pena na molimo santu na kati na biso.
By the grace of God, He has given us a spiritual leader
Par
who
la
is
grâce ya nzambe apesi biso
selfless, committed, humble. He has all the attributes that you need in a good spiritual leader.
apesi biso nzambe na biso oyo azali kolakisa ndenge il faut totambolaka na mokili.
And we must all come on board and support His cause and the vision so that together we will all be successful.
Biso nyonso faut tosangana mpo tozala na nsima na ye mpo ete tokoreusir na vie.
I want to thank you all very much for your
Natonde bino
attention.
butonde.
And God bless us all.
Nzambe apambola bino.
Merci. L'avant-dernière intervention sera celle de monsieur, de Dr Tony El-Keir Jaja, ambassadeur de la paix pour l'Est et la Corne de l'Afrique, membre du Conseil exécutif du mouvement panafricain mondial et conseiller mondial du CCI à Djouba, à qui nous invitons devant ces micros pour son message.
Greetings, people of the New Jerusalem.
Botenamilo batu ya Kamba Nouvelle Jerusalem.
I am not going to talk much like what I did last time on the 12th of October.
Naroloba mingi te ndenge nalobaki mbala elekaki na le 12 octobre.
Papa Simon Kimbangu said, I have thrown the bomb.
Papa Simon Kimbangu alobaki na ke na lasaki bombe.
When I was talking here.
Ta alwane koloba awa.
And that bomb now has cultivated, that is why we are here.
Bombe wana esali ke tuzonga lelo na batu mususu.
The vision of 100 years back.
Vision ya o esali 100 ans.
Of Papa Simon Kimbangu.
Ya Papa Simon Kimbangu.
When he said the white will be black and black will be white.
Ta alobaki ke mutu mwindo akoma mundele, mundele akoma mutu mwindo.
He's not talking about the skin.
Abanye kolobela posote.
He was talking about the turnover.
Abanye koloba changement.
About the rise of the Africa and the black community worldwide.
Abanye kolobela elevation ya Afrique na batu mwindo.
The things that the eyes have not seen.
Makambo o misu emonite.
And the head has not imaginated.
This
This is what is going to happen in this world. We have been talking about the African solution. All these years. In many conferences. In many summits. But we have not seen where to bring this solution.
Mais to monite esikani to koiko me ma solution wana.
For me to be here in Kamba on the October 12th.
Puetingana ya na Kamba le 12 octobre.
God has to send somebody like Dr. Luanga to Ethiopia in one of the conference to meet me there.
Nzambe ifali atinda muto niti Dr. Luanga na conférence na Ethiopie poete bakutana.
I know nothing about Kamba. I know nothing about Papa Simon Kimbangu. I have not read about the history. Until when he invited me, I googled the name. This is where now getting the history. I used to see some photos, but I don't know who is this person. The only person we know in Congo is Patrice Lumumba. Because of the Pan-African, we mention their names always. But when Papa Simon Kimbangu came up, I knew the real story started here. In 18 years back, there was a prophecy in Egypt. I was in Egypt. And we had the gathering of all African churches in one place. And I invited African ambassadors from Kenya, from Côte d'Ivoire, from Cameroon, and they came. And we invited some African ministers from America. When the Congolese choir was giving praises, There was a presence of God in that place. And one of the prophecies came out that Congo is the womb of Africa. And if the womb is not healed, Africa will not be healed. I did not know the connection until I came here about the prophecy of Papa Simon Kimbangu. That it has to start from here. And he has to deliver Africa. And he has to deliver the world. The reason why we have suffered a lot is not because of the black skin. We suffered a lot because we are intelligent. God created us with something within us. And he has given us everything for life. That is why they invade us. That is why they enslave us. That is why they destroy us. That is why they create diseases and bring them to us. Why did God give them a special place? Why did God give them all the resources? The destruction in Africa is because of what you have. We are not poor. Africans. Congolese, you are not poor. You are the richest people on the earth. But it's the time for you to turn over so that you can take over. Turn over to take over. And present who you are. Through Papa Simon Kimbangu and the prophecy. That is why we have Dr. Fazam Kamal Abadi today. Again, Dr. Fazam came because we had the connection with Ambassador Sister Rose. We met in Addis, all of us, with Dr. Luanga. Papa Fazam a lelo, pour tous na connexion na Mama Ruth. Papa Jospin otokuta na ye na kati ya Ethiopie. After I left Kamba here, Papa Simon Kimbangu in the last meeting said, don't be late.
Papa Simon Kimbangu alobai na ke nazala na retard.
Because there is people who throw promises and they don't come back again. I said, I'm not going to promise you, but we will be back. That is why we have the big delegation today. Because of Luanga, can Luanga stand up and Ruth let them stand up?
Papa Luanga.
Dr. Luanga and Ruth, can you stand up?
Papa Luanga, Mama Rose Botelema.
These are the two people who connect us to Kamba. That is why we are here. The second time. That is why Dr. Fazam is here. As guests of honor.
En tant qu'invité d'honneur.
And God has a special purpose for this mission. A special purpose for this mission. And I thank you, Papa Simon, for your invitation. It was not easy to organize a trip in a short time. But because it is God's trip, that is why we are here. And God's mission has to be fulfilled. It's a time for the black community, black people all over the world to rise. We don't want to campaign like when you become president, you go and carry that child and say that I want to be a president. You want to show you love the children. No. That is not the way. We have to be honest. Whatever you promise, you have to fulfill. Papa Simon Kimbangu wrote a letter to the president and all the government of Congo. And he mentioned our mission when we came here on the trip. And that is why we say this mission has to be fulfilled, and we don't want to let him down or disappoint him. And whatever God has brought us here, we ask the grace of God to be fulfilled. The arrow will fly from Congo to all over Africa to bring the change. Change that can turn over our life, to take over our destiny. God bless you.
Merci. Le dernier message dans la série de discours de ce jour sera celui de M. Farmazam Kamalabadi, président du Futur Trans Group. Nous vous invitons, Monsieur le Président du Futur Trans Group, de passer devant les micros pour votre message à tous les fidèles et sympathisants Kimbangu se réunissent dans ce somptueux temple d'Nkamba, Nouvelle-Jérusalem.
Espíritu Santo, le signe de Dieu sur la terre, envoyé spécial de Jésus-Christ, notre Papa Simon Kimbangu Kiangani, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Notre Père qui est aux cieux, que ton nom soit sanctifié.
Thy kingdom come.
Que ton règne vienne.
Thy will be done.
Que ta volonté soit faite sur la terre comme au ciel.
On earth as it is in heaven. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Que ta volonté soit faite sur la terre comme au ciel.
I come here from far land. I come here from high levels. But God told me. God told me. God commanded me. You humble yourself before black man. You humble yourself. You bow down.
Fukama liboso abatu mwindo.
You bow down.
Fukama liboso abatu mwindo.
And God said,
Nzambe alobi,
be the true white man who is the servant of Africa.
Zala muto mundele ya solo o azali servant ya Afrique.
God told me, be the white man who is the servant of the black man.
Nzambe alobi nanga zala mutu mundele o azala servant ya mutu mwindo.
Not by name.
Na kombo te.
In heart.
Men na motema.
In reality.
Na réalité.
This is a sacred land.
O ezali mboka ya bule.
This is Africa.
O ezali Afrique.
This is the mother of human civilization.
O ezali mère de la civilisation.
This is the new Jerusalem.
O ezali Yerusalemu ya sika.
And before I met
the
sign of divinity,
sa divinité,
before I heard him, I know of him. I know his spirit, Grandpa Papa Simon,
esprit naie grand-père Papa Simon,
and before him, Kimpa Vita,
Kimpa Vita,
who sacrificed,
burned,
for the right of the black civilization, was from God. Was the voice of God. I know from 1887 to 1921 April 6
que du 6 avril 1921
until Papa Simon was taken to the jail, beaten,
Papa Simon
in acid, in chains, run through the streets and the mud, 30 years imprisonment, and yet free. Free here, free up there. And as he went to the kingdom of God in October 12, 1951, and my beloved spirit brother was born. 10 years younger than me, older than me. I was born October 6, 1961. I knew his prophecies are true. The prophecies are true. The day that the black man will rise is today. The promised day of God is today. The true speaker of God is sitting here together with you. I am a humble servant. I don't matter. It's the destiny of 1.5 billion people of Africa that matters. I helped raise the nation of China. Yes, I did. When I went to China, China was poorest. China did not have anything. Not paved roads. They didn't have highway. They did not have shower, electricity, air conditioning. Their villages, they were poorer than any African country today. Many of them were starving. The whole GDP of China was $200 billion. Yes, I helped raise China. Today, $19 trillion. But when I was young, when I was 20, God told me, and I wrote in my diary, 1981, 42 years ago, you go to China, you raise China. Then you go to Africa and you raise Africa. Together with the people of Africa. I knew nothing about Africa. In China, I learned the language. I learned Mandarin, Cantonese, Shanghainese, writing, hieroglyphic writing, hieroglyphic ancient writing, the book of philosophy, the writing, everything. I traveled to 500 cities of China.
Natambuli na 500 villes ya Chine.
I went to 1,000 villages of China.
Naki na ba 1000 villages ya Chine.
But in Africa, I have been only in 15 countries.
Mais awa na Afrique na kindika na 15 pays na kata Afrique.
But God told me,
Mais Nzamba yipsinga.
Africa will rise bigger than China.
Ko leka Chine.
And in shorter time than China.
Pe na temps muke ko leka Chine.
China, it took 30 years. Africa will take 10 years only.
30 ans pour Chine et tombama et ko 10 ans pour Afrique et tombama.
God told me, tell Africa,
changer Afrique.
You are not here. You are there. That's the new realm of possibility. God said, I keep the arrow. Keep, and then I release. It will go fast. So you will run fast. God said, Africa will have $60 trillion economy.
Une économie de 60 trillions de dollars.
Only in 10 years.
En 10 ans.
That is today $3 trillion.
Donc ça veut dire que les lots est à 3 trillions, dans 10 ans 60 trillions de dollars.
That means 20x, 20 times.
Donc 20 fois plus.
But God said Africa will create wealth.
Will
generate wealth.
Africa
will not wait from the wealth to come to them. Africa is not receiver. Africa is not beggar. Africa is the giver. Africa is the source. Africa has been giver for 500 years.
Afrique
was giver, giving out, giving money, giving resources.
Pendant plus de 500 Afrique n'im te pesa la ressources libanda.
Donner sorti à tout le monde Afrique source. Yeah. L'origine est Afrique.
L'origine est allée Afrique.
Yeah. Africa will create many engines of money.
Afrique créer ba
and will give it out. God told me Congo can have $5 trillion.
Congo économique 5 trillions de dollars.
Today is only 50 billion.
Les lots ils ont 50 milliards.
Very low.
Ils ont vraiment assez.
The whole Congo only $50 billion.
Ils ont vraiment assez.
That's the pocket money of one company of China.
Ils ont argent de poche à compagnie moko na Chine.
No. We'll create a lot of money.
To créer mbongo ebele.
From Africa, by Africa, in Africa, for outbound.
Bon, nous to créer na kata Afrique et ubano kende siko libanda. Ole ke bisoto ya libanda ekota.
You do not wait for the government. You help the government. Africa will give outbound sovereign debt. Africa will issue debt, outbound debt to Europe. Game over. You already are giving every day, giving. Now we do it officially. The government of Congo, in the newspaper, announced in the world. Congo government gives foreign debt to Romania, Bulgaria. Outbound. Because Africa has risen. Because Africa has a movement. It is called Collective Peaceful Rise of Africa. Peaceful rise.
Collective.
Assurance. Le paix. Collective. Going up.
Donc, collectivement, tu retombes à l'Afrique pour être tout salibanda.
It's called elevation of the nation.
Donc, c'est l'élévation de la nation.
It's called the surprise rise of Africa.
Donc, ce sera une
surprise rise. The rise coming up, ascendant.
Ça sera une élévation surprise de l'Afrique.
Okay. The rise will be surprise.
Donc l'élévation est aux la surprise.
Nobody expected it. It will happen in the 4th generation.
Et que ça les mana 4e génération.
In one generation.
En une seule génération.
Only one generation.
Car génération
not for future generations.
Pas pour les générations futures.
When Africa rise,
quand Afrique retombama,
the Africans in America will rise.
Ba africain au bazali na Amérique bango pi barotombama.
Their image, they will be proud.
Na image dans bango baroko ma fier.
We are not against anyone.
Biso tozali contre mutu morote.
We don't need it with hatred.
Tosalango na koinate.
The white is not our enemy.
Mindele bazali ba ennemi na bisote.
We have to change them.
Il faut tout changer bango.
We have to change ourselves so we can change them.
Il faut bisomoroto mi changer pour to changer bango.
We don't need to be indignant and angry. We don't need to be angry.
Tozana besoin ko zana kandate, tozana besoin ko ina bangote.
We only need to do good work.
Il faut tout sala misala malamu.
We need to do better for agriculture.
Il faut to bongisa agriculture.
Better for mining.
Il faut to bongisa ba mine.
Better for energy.
Il to bongisa ba énergie.
Combine it into industry.
Combine
it into finance.
Finance.
Make it digital finance.
Digital, finance digital.
Put all the wealth in the ground before you take out. Before you take out, put it on blockchain. Put it on digital. Raise money, raise cash, monetize it. Before you go to industry. This is fast track. Early monetization. Early monetization.
Monétisation d'avance.
Early. Fast.
Vite. Une monétisation très rapide.
Très vite, monétisation. Des ressources. De dormi. S'active dormi. Africa will do it in a short time. I come now from Mali. Sorry, I come from, where were we? Malawi. We were before in Mali also. I come from Malawi. Everybody joined. 3 former presidents.
3 présidents
former before.
Avant.
The current president.
Président Yalelo.
Madame SPC, like Prime Minister.
Première ministre ya Malawi.
The chairwoman of the parliament, speaker.
Directeur ya parlement.
Vice president.
Vice-président.
Everyone. Minister of Finance. Governor of Central Bank. Minister of Digitalization. All of them. Even Minister of Mining. Minister of Agriculture. All the ministers. All the professors of university. All the young people. All the media. They put many, many, many articles about the rise of Malawi. Now it's time for Congo. Congo. I came to Congo in 1.5 years ago. But that wasn't the time. Now it is the time. Because the promised time is come now.
La journée de la promesse est aujourd'hui.
Okay, is here. Already is here. I don't know French. I don't know African language. But God told me, you come and be a model. The white man who has no self. No self. No self. Pure motive.
Motivation.
This world will change only by the Spirit of God.
Mboka oyo changer kaka na esprit ya Nzambe.
By pure motive.
Par motivation pure.
Little pure motive.
Donc une toute petite pure motivation.
Little pure motive is bigger than atomic bomb.
Une petite motivation est plus grande qu'une bombe atomique.
I don't have anything.
Nazana elorote.
I have pure motive.
Nazande na motivation.
My gift to Congo.
Cadeau nanga pour na Congo.
And I have a whole followers around the world.
Nazana batu ebele balandra nga na kata mukili.
The government of Dubai will come with us.
Gouvernement ya Dubai ekuya awa.
The companies and government of America federal, they will come with us. I have prepared the whole world to come and help Africa. Okay, and finalement, I cannot change Africa. I cannot change Africa. Africa must change Africa. I am only a golden key. Starting. But the change will come from the government changing what we call legislation. Legislation, policy, system, modeling, all the layers. And the whole nation will rise, will believe in different world. In China, when I went there, they wrote a book, The Ugly Chinese. Chinese that are ugly. The whole China is ugly. Has nothing good. I changed that. I said, you are first world class citizen. You are first world class citizen. Not mid class. First class. I said Africa first. Africa first. I went 1 year ago in London, Queen Elizabeth Hall, Queen Elizabeth, with the Chancellor of the British government, in front of large people, and I said, the number one engine,
moteur numéro 1,
the number one engine of economy and finance of the world is Africa.
Donc moteur numéro 1, il y a économie, na finance, ils Afrique.
Number 2 is India.
Deuxième, ils Inde.
The two will rise. No America, no China.
Pas Amérique, pas Chine.
We love them. I love America. I love China. But it's time for Africa. So America also listened to me. I said before, there is the rise of the West. Now it's the rise of the rest.
Liboso nalobaki ezalaki élévation ya l'est, siko ezali élévation ya ouest.
You come into Africa.
Yo binonde boya na Afrique.
So Africa agenda was the lowest in
Agenda africain ezalaki oyase na kati ya Amerika.
In 6 months became number 1 agenda.
En 6 mois tant na lobelaki bango bakomisi yango na numéro 1 priorité na bango.
They created the summit.
Basali sommet.
US and Africa Leaders Summit.
Sommet ya Afrique na Amérique.
It was not their plan.
Mais ezalaki planté.
Became number 1.
Et comme siko numéro 1.
50 African nations went there.
50 nations africaines bakenda ikuna.
America sent Janet Yellen, Minister of Finance.
Atindi Minister of Finance Janet Yellen.
Yeah, and she said in Dakar, she said in Africa, in Senegal.
Na kati ya Afrique na Sénégal.
January 19th.
Le 19 janvier.
Less than 1 year ago.
Moins d'une année passée.
Now, she said, the economy and finance of Africa will set. I will finish the sentence. The economy and finance of Africa will set and determine the economy and finance of the world.
Économie na finance ya Afrique yango mte déterminer économie ya mokili mobimba.
Not America first.
Pas américain.
Not China first. Africa first.
Ba chinois te mais ba africain.
Now the whole world wants to come to Africa.
Siko mokili mobimba bazan pour ça baya na kata Afrique.
We did it there. We did it there. His divine Papa Simon did it here. These two meet each other. I serve you. I serve all the Kimpangan people. Not only we should bring the world into the New Jerusalem, we have to take the New Jerusalem to the world. If when in New York, in Hong Kong, Saudi, Dubai, anywhere, when they see the people and the singing and the thinking, they will know Africa is rising. Your spirit.
Na New York, na Hong Kong, na Japon, tant baromona bino nande boyembaka nande bobeta musique et opesa bon posa baya.
We will have time. You have been very kind.
Vous avez été très accueillant.
You gave me extra time.
Because
I speak your destiny. It's not my agenda. I am a simple man. I own nothing. I am nothing. Africa must change. You must decide. Inside. You must take it everywhere in Africa. 1.2 billion poor people of Africa in 10 years must become rich.
1,2 milliard ya batu pauvres na Afrique. Il faut dans 10 ans bakoma ba riche.
I know it will be done. I don't say it can be done. I say it will be done. Because I found Papa Simon. And his whole system.
Na système na yemo bimba. Na mi kitisi.
My heart is
Mutemananga ezali na bino.
You will rise.
Bino nde borutomba ma.
I don't matter.
Nga naza mutupamba.
Vos applaudissements, s'il vous plaît. Merci pour votre attention soutenue. À présent, nous allons avec joie et plaisir recevoir les différents messages d'espoir de nos hôtes au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Nous voici arrivés à la fin de notre intervention. Au nom du Père, du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Amen. Nous demandons au pasteur de la ville sainte de passer devant pour la suite du programme. Merci.